Dave Cyderbaby. This is for Rock Radio UK, and today I'm speaking to the legend that is John Drake. Hello, sir.
Hey man.
How's it going? You look very chilled and relaxed, sir.
Yeah, it's Tuesday night. It's approaching winter. Well, pretend winter. It's
Yeah.
Queensland, so it's not really winter. It's just a little bit chilly and blue skies. So yeah.
I I could say I hate you already, but you know very well what the English summer is like.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, hey, I did 20 years in the UK, right? So I know it very well. I almost miss it.
Almost.
Oh, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than strolling the streets of London, seeing people spill out of pubs, pissed at fucking 3 in the afternoon. It's the best.
You're painting a very
On a
good picture of the UK, I've got to say.
on a lovely summer afternoon, the fields of the parks are filled with scantily clad women. The pubs are filled with people having a wonderful time. It's joyous.
Yeah. Okay. But you've moved back to Australia on a permanent basis now?
Yeah, yeah. I moved back to Australia about a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, So, I mean, we'll touch on this first. You've departed from the Dust Coda now. I mean, it
Hmm.
all seems fairly amicable and fairly reasonable, shall we say? Is that the case?
Yeah, reasonable, I suppose. Yeah, kind of. You know,
All right, all right.
some dynamics are meant to last. Some aren't.
Yeah,
Uh, bands are hard. Bands are hard. I wouldn't say it was a reasonable ending. We weren't out of each other's throats, but it's a difficult thing. I mean, the Rolling Stones in their biggest period in the 90s, 80s fucking hated each other and they were
yeah.
living in the lap of luxury. You know, it's like being in a band's hard. It's hard work, and you got people over. We were together for 13 years,
Yeah,
and everybody grows at different stages, and the person you are when you first join that band might not necessarily be the person you are 13, 14, 15 years later. So,
yeah. That's very
all
true.
in, all in all, it's fine. There's not been some massive fallout, but it's
No,
just who knows? Reunion tour might happen in a couple of years. You never
yeah,
know.
never know, eh? Okay, but that brings us on to what you're currently doing because there is a new single out called Ocean, yes?
Certainly
Tell,
is.
tell me all about it, sir.
Well, Ocean was a song I wrote in London, and I started working with my producer Chas Guthrie, who's a dear friend of mine, who's been a producer and a session musician for many years, working between many different parts of the world, the Middle East and the UK and Australia, and we started making a record, and Ocean's the first single off the record. And Ocean is a song I wrote in London, and it started off kind of as like a kind of a almost 70s folky kind of track.
Mm,
And but through the process, we kind of it evolved, it evolved into more of a groove orientated, um, dare I say, hip hop influenced song, very much with the elements that I would bring to a song, which is
yeah.
melody and guitars and piano and stuff. But it's a groove song, heavily influenced by 70s Bowie and bit of Alice Cooper, a bit of Peter Gabriel, sonically, some of his stuff.
Mm. Would you say this is more you?
I think it's more me having complete control over my craft as a artist.
Right. Okay.
It's me being able to completely actualize my vision as a recording artist.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's more me. It's more yeah, being able to truly lead the creative process and not have to worry about hurting other people's feelings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do get that. Um, so the first single. So this obviously leads to the question of you've got something cooking in the background then.
Absolutely, I got a whole record, man.
Yeah.
There's going to be a succession of singles over the next 6 to 7 months.
Right.
The actual release of the record will be announced May. The campaign for the album will be announced May, June.
Hmm.
But I'll be pumping out singles pretty much all year. And the record should be, we haven't finalized the exact date, but the record should be out by November.
Right. Okay. And does the album follow the trend of this particular single, Ocean, or?
No, it's quite an eclectic album. It's like sonically it's in a similar ballpark, but like so many of the songs are different to Ocean. Ocean's like a groove orientated kind of 70s-ish song. You got other songs that are like piano ballads. You got
Hmm.
other songs with tinges of country.
Okay.
You got other songs which have tinges of kind of like your alt country kind of, like I would say noughties era Ryan Adams, influences from David Gray, Ryan Adams, Ray LaMontage, big influence from War on Drugs.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a real sonic tapestry there that's hinted and linked to all the kind of classic songwriting that I've loved over the last 40 years, based in melody, poetry, and textures and
Hmm.
cinematic textures. Lots of reverb on this album.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned the word poetry. I mean, so lyrically, you're is this like a real baby for you, sort of like getting things out?
Yeah, but it always is. If you listen to any of the Dust Coda records, I wrote all the melodies
Mm.
and lyrics for the Dust Coda. So, you know, I've always been pretty honest in my lyrics thus far. But this is probably more vulnerable,
Mm.
more again, not really having to kind of not that anyone really told me what to fucking write in the Dust Coda lyrically. Um, but uh yeah, it's me just being able to be more vulnerable and within the context of the songs that I'm writing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is opening up a bit more, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Did a little bit more therapeutic for yourself.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. It's a funny thing. I don't I don't think about it therapeutically. Maybe it feels like it when the record's finished and I go, "Oh, okay, that's what I was going through when I wrote that song." But it's kind of it's just a process, and sometimes how I feel is important about it, but sometimes just whether it works as a song's important and whether the what I'm trying to say makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So, musically, I mean, is it all you? Are you, or have you got a band in particular behind you, or?
So um pretty much all the guitars and vocals,
Mm.
with the exception of I think one track, there's a tiny bit of a session guitar player who did something. He was supposed to play the bass on the track, did something on the guitar we thought was interesting, but pretty much 99% of the record's me on guitar, percussion. We got a really great rhythm section in a great drummer in to record all the drums, who's I think he's the director of the conservatorium in Brisbane, James. And we had a couple of session bass players, but the important part is my producer Chas Guthrie.
Yeah.
He was very instrumental in the arranging, helping arrange the sonic tapestry and all the pianos parts of him. And it's a
Mm.
very piano heavy record. Like it's very much a vocal piano with tinges of textured guitars. So yeah, the instrumentation and the sonic layering is very much a collaboration between me and my producer.
Right. Okay. And that must be really important. The sound's really important to you.
Oh yeah, we'd spend forever sitting around pontificating on the differences between this synth and whether it works with this kick and this kick and this snare and this snare. Like it just, you
Mm.
know, uh, much red wine and much marijuana.
Okay. Okay. Um, you mentioned that this was going to be the first of many singles. Why is that? I mean, most people are doing like two or three singles in an album, bang. Do you think now you're following like the, well, dare I say, the Spotify trend and just keeping your
Well,
name out there?
firstly, I think because I'm starting again,
Mm,
you know, there's a percentage of people who like, who are Dust Coda fans, who are into what I do, but I haven't been able to be exposed to the Dust Coda fans because I don't have a control over the platform, the
right,
Dust Coda platform. I've not been given, I don't have a what I would consider to be a healthy brand merging relationship with the Dust Coda now as far as supporting each other. It's not a supportive relationship.
right,
So because it's not a supportive relationship, I'm on my own. So I can't reach out to the Dust Coda fans and get them engaged. So some of them will discover what I'm doing. Um, so because I'm pretty much starting again,
mm,
I I've really got to do a long kind of process with it. I've got to put out a lot of songs in advance to the build up of this record. It's going to be a vinyl release as well.
right,
So I'm really kind of wanting to put out quite a few releases of songs and start building, you know, my following as a solo artist. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. I've spent 2.5 years making this record, piled my money into it, um, and I want to get the most of it. And also, I'm building up in a new market.
yeah,
Australia, ironically, is a brand new market. Um, and it's been great. The press I've been getting from the UK, it's been fantastic. Like
yeah,
I'm super happy already that like Classic Rock and a few other publications have gotten really behind it, and it's great. Super really happy about that. But yeah, it's kind of starting. It's almost like starting from scratch again, which is kind of a scary thing. But I think it's worth it putting out a long succession of songs because it really builds it,
mm,
and it's an excuse to kind of talk about the record more, and it's a record that I'm very proud of. So.
okay. I mean, it must be quite daunting starting again.
Oh, massively, massively. It's huge, man. Like, you know, especially when you've been signed to a record label and you've got all this kind of publicity that's set up for you. You've got a team, you know,
Mm,
and I'm building my own team. Basically for all intents and purposes, I'm starting my own record label. and and I'm administering and I'm in charge of everything and I've got to manage the marketing, I've got to manage the videography, I've got to manage the PR, I've got to manage and get make sure it's all aligned, which is something I never did in the Dust Coda just because it was taken care of.
yeah,
But I'm excited by that, but it is daunting. It's daunting having been in the UK for a long time and developing a strong following with the Dust Coda and getting some sort of, getting a base there and
mm,
then moving back to Australia and no one having a clue what you've achieved or what you've done. Because Dust Coda doesn't have a following in Australia whatsoever,
yeah.
which,
It's a bit weird at times, but understandable because obviously it's a British-based band, and
yeah,
ERUK
yeah.
are or were a very British-based and European-based record label. So,
Oh, 100%. They wanted to grow, and that makes sense. Like
mm,
it's from their perspective, they wanted to grow in the UK and Europe first. So, I'm not particularly bitter about that. I'm just like it is what it is.
okay.
Um, it's just the way it is.
I mean, the music scene in Australia is very, very healthy. I mean, there are a number of bands.
Huge. It's
Yeah,
great. There's so much music going on here. Um, it's just, but it's just it's just it makes you. It really puts your reasons for doing it to the test when you literally have to start again and in a new market and be like putting yourself out there. But
yeah.
what else am I going to do with my life?
Oh, yeah, well, that is a loaded question. I mean, yeah. Considering where I started and what I'm doing now, it's quite a polar opposite. Um, right, sir, is there anything else you would like to say to the fans that you've met over the years and who know you, as well as, say, the Dust Coda, who know you
Well,
specifically?
I would like to say, firstly, to all the fans of the Dust Coda who have been listening to our records, buying our records, coming to our shows, streaming, buying our merch, and engaging with us for 13 years now. I'd like to say thank you
Hmm.
because I I look back on my time with the Dust Coda and the work that we did as an incredible chapter in my life. You know, even though the ending of the Dust Coda things are a bit frosty, you know, we're still on speaking terms. It's all fine. There's no big blow
Mm.
up. Um, the Dust Coda, I just think is an incredible group, and I think what we did was great, and I'm so proud of what we did, and I'm so grateful for all the wonderfully supportive people of our music. And secondly, I would like to say to any of the people who dug the Dust Coda, if you like what I'm doing, get on board. Get on board the train.
Yeah, brilliant. Ocean is out now on all the streaming platforms, I believe.
It certainly is.
Where can they find you in particular? Can they track you down on the old internet?
Absolutely. I'm on Instagram, John Drake Music on Instagram. I'm on John Drake Music on Facebook, and I'm also on John Drake Music on TikTok. And I'm also available, as you just said, on all streaming platforms. The record's going to be out, as I mentioned, in November, but we will do a full release announcement for the campaign probably around May, June, and it's going to be available on vinyl and streaming and probably CD as well.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Well, John, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Ocean is a cracking first single, I've got to say. I don't
Thank
think
you.
I don't think you've got anything to worry about starting again because I think you've nailed it first time with the first song.
Thanks, man.
So
That's nice to hear.
I really appreciate you carrying on and producing music that you do.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.